I love these little loaf pans. These are perfect. We used these last year for our gingerbread at the Superintendent Student Council. No, I'm sorry. The District 75 Entrepreneurship Week bake sale. And we packaged these with the gingerbread, and it's a very, you bake it in it, and it's packaging. So I also like to use this, if, let's say you were at a cafe and you had some chili and you wanted to sell chili, you could have this with your cornbread to go along with your chili, and it's already packaged and it's ready to go right there with your chili. So this is a great thing. Or Thanksgiving, if you're having cornbread, each person can have their own little mini cornbread loaf. It's great. So now if you are working in a production kitchen though, you do need to know how much your food costs are. So you would need to know how much batter goes into each loaf. So let's figure that out. We want to fill this up. So that's 1 scoop. We're going to weigh the batter that's in each loaf, and then we would be able to do cost pricing if we know that amount, because then we would know how much each batch would yield, and then you would sorry, the timer went off. Let's make this like a 375, an even measurable amount. All right, so we're going to say mini loaf, 3.75 ounces. All right, and what you would do would be you would weigh all of the ingredients together, you would get your yield, then you would divide by 3.75 to tell you how many of these mini loaves you could get, and then that would be how you figure out your pricing. So you would tabulate how much all your ingredients cost, divide it by the number of loaves, and that will tell you how much each loaf costs in food costs, how to make, how much your ingredients cost per loaf. And then once you know that figure, then you know how much you need to charge for this if you're selling it. So usually the rule of thumb is your food costs times 3 is the price, the minimum price you should charge. So I'll go over that another time. The food pricing is a little difficult, but we'll start off, and I'll adjust it to make it exactly 375, and I'll make both of these exactly 375. These have been in the oven 10 minutes, all right, and so I'm not sure if you can see so well, but they are rising up beautifully, and we're looking for a little bit more golden brown color, so I'm going to put it in for, say, 4 minutes more. So since we are recipe testing, I have filled up this one with 3.75 ounces of the batter, this one with 4 ounces of batter, and this one with 4.25 ounces of batter, because we want to see which one looks the best. What's the proper amount that we put into each of these? And it's important that way, if you are selling something, you're consistent. Your customers are not going to be happy if one day they buy something for $4 and it is nice and fluffy and high and comes over the side like this, and then the next day they come in and it's only at the level. They're gonna be like, what's going on? Why isn't it the same? So in a production kitchen, you always measure everything exactly, so that way when you sell it, your customers won't get upset that one day they paid $4 for something, the next day it doesn't look exactly the same. Okay, there we go. Beautiful color. That is what we are looking for. Nice golden brown color on the top. Spring back to the touch. They're done. All right, now I'm going to get in the larger ones, and that was 14 minutes, so we'll see how much time the larger ones take. All right, so in they go. These have been in there for 10 minutes, and they're rising beautifully, but we want to make sure the color is baking is even, so you've got to remember, rotate it around halfway. All right, and I'll set the timer for another 5 minutes. All right, now these were in for 17 minutes. They are looking beautiful. Perfect. Okay, you can see how beautiful they are? Exactly what we're looking for. Now, we're going to put these in, and we'll see how long they take. All right, so we're gonna set the timer again, 5-minute increments until we get the correct time. All right, here we go. Our cornbread loaves were 18 minutes, and look at them. They're nice and golden brown. And springs back from the touch. Now here we have our 3 different sizes. So it would be up to you to decide how you would like your loaf to look. This is 3.75, this is 4 ounces, and this is 4.25. So I think if we were in a bake shop and we wanted to sell these, definitely 4.25, because then that looks really nice in there. So you see that? That would look really nice. So that's why you have to test everything. All right, so now I'm gonna taste one and let you know whether or not soaking the cornmeal in the buttermilk made the cornmeal softer. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna taste one of these. I'm gonna pick one. That one looks perfect. Yum, absolutely delicious. Okay, I took a bite, 2 bites, and this is so good. It really did tenderize the cornmeal, so it doesn't have any sort of grit to it, and it's tender, very tender. So, obviously not everybody's gonna have time to soak their cornmeal in buttermilk overnight, but I highly recommend it. So let's go over everything. Our 12.75 ounces of all-purpose flour, or 2 3/4 cups. I scaled the cornmeal, and that's a scant 1 cup. Scant means a little bit less. A heaping is a little bit more, a scant is a little bit less. So 5 ounces of yellow cornmeal is a scant 1 cup. 2 tablespoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon salt, 4 ounces of unsalted butter melted and cooled, 1/2 cup of canola oil, 3 eggs, 8 ounces of sugar, which is 1 cup plus 1 tablespoon, 1 cup of sour cream, 1/2 cup of buttermilk. Ta-da! Hope you enjoyed. Okay, you guys, I don't know if anybody noticed, I forgot the butter. I forgot the unsalted butter. But you know what? It came out beautifully anyhow and tastes absolutely delicious. And less butter means less fat, so here you go. I just created a whole entire new recipe. So we don't need that butter, all right? And it came out beautifully. So now I'll have to remember, that's why I crossed it out. All right, so when I do this recipe again, I'll have to remember no butter. Or I could try and put the butter back in and see what the difference is. So anyhow, but these things happen. I mean, that is why I'm supposed to double check my mise en place as I'm making it. And so I keep telling you guys to do. Anyhow, I'm sorry. I was rushing today in trying to get this done in between teaching classes. So please forgive me. But anyhow, I'm glad I realize now, and I'm fessing up to you that I forgot the butter. I don't know if anybody else caught that though. So I hope you were paying attention well enough to realize it. All right, so take care everybody, and I hope you enjoyed doing this and are inspired to make some cornbread at home. Bye.